listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
All right, for all things Pelicans, now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being on this episode of PPR. I know it's late, man. Much love to the fam. We appreciate you for being in the stream on this one. Please do us a service by hitting that like button as we up in this one. The Pelicans go 2-0 in the preseason, man. They had a pretty impressive victory over Melbourne South or South East Melbourne Phoenix club. They were able to take them, dispatch this team from start to finish. The Pelicans just ran away with this one, man. It was not much of a game. I mean, we've seen some interesting play, but they handled the business well in this one, man. PPR representing. It's late. Shout out to Brian T. Young City 9. We up in this thing. Pelicans annihilate Melbourne Phoenix 127-92. We'll come back later on today and do a full recap. We'll have DC and Lex to join us as we will then break down in depth the first two preseason matchups, and then of course get ready for the Rockets game as the Pelicans return home to the Smoothie King Center and prepare to take on the Houston Rockets, who actually start to get their first action tomorrow. They have their first preseason game tomorrow, so the Pelicans will have to wait later on October the 14th before they have an opportunity to match up with them. With that being said, Pelicans tonight, they just did a wonderful thing of handling the business and representing, playing really good basketball. And like I said, man, it's stuff to work on as a collective unit, but the hustle and some of the other things, the free flowingness of everything, playing Melbourne and it's a different level, not to disparage what they got going on here. But, you know, as we move into the preseason, we'll see a little bit better, a stiffer competition from Houston and Orlando in the preseason as we then get ready for the regular season, man. 2 more games before the games actually count for real. Anyway, let's get right into this one. Pelicans tonight, 46 of 81 for almost 57% from the field. They were 12 of 33 from downtown for 36.4. They went to the foul line 33 times, converted 23 of 33 for 70%. They collected 50 rebounds tonight versus 42 by Melbourne Phoenix. They had 33 assists yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, a couple of games ago, or days ago, rather. They had 20 tonight, a little better movement of the ball, 33 assists by the Pelicans versus 24. They outstole them 9-7, outblocked them 8-6. The turnovers was 16 turnovers by the Pelicans, 14 points off versus 11 and 14 giving up off theirs. The fast break points a lot better. In this game, they had 19 fast break points versus 5, and they dominated the points in the paint 64-48. And like we said, this was a really good one. The Pelicans at one point led this game. It was basically a wire-to-wire situation. They were up by as much as 37 points. At halftime, they were up by, almost 20 points. It was just a wire-to-wire domination of this particular team. So anyway, that's very good numbers by the Pelicans. And then, of course, we take a look at what they had done individually speaking. 21 points by Saddiq Bey. He was quiet in the first preseason matchup, not so much in this one. 21 points in 21 minutes. He was 6 of 9 from the field, and he hit 4 of 6 from downtown. He was 5 of 7 from the foul line, and he was plus 27 in there, getting all of it. 6 rebounds, 3 assists to go along with that. And Saddiq Bey, real humble dude, hard worker, complete game. He's going to fit well with the Pelican squad, right? You know, he really going to fit well with the Pelican squad. This is the type of player that I think we've been looking for. And then, of course, his game is real complete. Kind of a guy that's really good on the defensive end. Plus, he can hit the three, and he's a physical player. Solid defensive player as well. So a healthy Saddiq Bey is going to be a plus for the Pelicans, man, for really real. Jordan Poole tonight was 15 points in 18 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from downtown. He was perfect from the foul line, 8 of 8, and even had plus 20 on the plus minus board, right? So not bad by him. He finished with 12 points by Jeremiah Fears in 24 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown, 12 points, 3 assists and a rebound for him, plus 15 for the young fella. 8 points for Zion in 15 minutes of action, 3 of 5, 0 for 1 from downtown. He was 2 of 3 from the foul line. 8 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, plus 10 by Zion in this matchup as well. Kevon Looney had 10 minutes in a game, finished with 4 points and a couple of rebounds. And then, of course, we've seen a lot of bench work, right? A lot of guys in the bench. 14 by Bryce McGowans in 12 minutes. Jordan Hawkins. Jordan Hawkins had 20 minutes. You see Willie Green trying to give him some minutes off the bench. He had 20 minutes tonight, 14 points in 20 minutes. He was 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 8 from downtown. He was plus 10. You know, he had 5 rebounds, I think, the first game. So trying to show some different stuff. But Jayhawk had 14 points to lead the bench. 10 from Yves Missi in 20 minutes. He was 5 of 6 from the field, 10 points, 6 boards, 3 assists and 2 blocks by Yves, plus 18. So a lot of our plus and minus stats were up because these guys were out there hustling. They were handling the business, and they were doing what they were supposed to do. 8 points by PV in today's action, 23 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds by him, a couple of blocks thrown his way. Trey Alexander finished with 7 points in 15 minutes, a couple of assists thrown in there with him, 6 points by Christian Shoemate, who finished with plus 8, 6 points, a couple of rebounds from him, 3 from Jalen McDaniels. He had a 3-pointer from the corner in the 7 minutes that he ended up playing as well. We've seen Jaden Springer get a little action, 8 minutes. He finished with 5 points and 4 boards go in the game. Also, Karlo Mekovic in 16 minutes finished with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of assists. So a lot of positives by the Pelicans in there as well. Yves at plus 18 off the bench did his thing as well. So it was a pretty solid affair, no matter how you slice it by the Pelicans, man. Everybody got in there and got their work that was on there. Willie emptied the bench in a blowout win, and everybody kind of touched down and got a hand to it. So Pelicans do the NBA versus the MDL or the NBL, National Basketball League over there in Australia. It was a good experience seeing all of the Pelican faithful in Australia. We have a big presence. It's also a big Saint contingent over there, believe it or not. There are a lot of different groups online with Australian people just loving the Saints, loving the Pelicans, man. And it's great, man, to see that love worldwide. Also, as we keep it moving, man, we know that the next matchup will be against Houston. But before we jump into that, man, Jose Alvarado did have an issue. He did end up leaving the game, exiting to the locker room. He had kind of an issue, went down. It was some type of right knee issue that Jose just coming through and getting, healthy after what happened in summer ball. And then ultimately having this issue in the game. We'll get more information on what's going on with Jose Alvarado. But for those who don't know, he exited to the locker room after sustaining some type of right knee injury in the third quarter against this team. He stayed down for a while. He tried to cross the guy up and then reached down to try to grab the ball. And something happened. Looked like his knee buckled and he just went down, and he was on the ground kind of in pain. And then he kind of reach for the guys to kind of help pull him up on his feet. And he did limp off the floor to the locker room, and he didn't come back, but he finished the game with no points as well. In 12 minutes, he had 4 assists and a rebound in the game. So prayers to Jose Alvarado that he returns healthy. Unfortunate injury from Jose Alvarado with that knee. Oh, man, we just hope Jose just can't catch a break, man. Jose been just, he had the summer stuff when he got knocked on his tail or whatever it was, and he was rivaling in pain, laying on the ground. And then he, kind of shakes back from that. And then the next thing you know, he kind of twists up his knee, and we'll see what it is, man. Hopefully it's not nothing bad for Jose Alvarado, man. Wow. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the preview here as the Pelicans come on. We got a few days, more than a few days of rest before the Pelicans have to welcome in the Houston Rockets. This will be the game 3 of the 4 preseason games where Houston will present a challenge for the Pelicans. The last couple of years since really, I ain't gonna say since Emi Udoka has been over there, but the Rockets always been a formidable team. But in particular, since he's taken over the Rockets, they've been a real challenging team for the Pelicans. It'll be interesting to see the Pelicans riding a 2-game winning streak, albeit an international action, but still in all, they've experienced winning. Even though it's in the preseason, they have experience in winning. Can they carry that on and take care of business against the Houston Rockets? They'll be October the 14th. It's a 7 p.m. tip-off time, and we'll see what goes on right there. Like I said, the Rockets play tomorrow. Actually, they'll match up tomorrow, and we'll see what happens with that. But, correction there. They won't be in the Smoothie King Center. They actually will be in Legacy Arena in Birmingham. So they'll have a game in Birmingham, which is considered a home game for the Pelicans, but they'll be going to Birmingham to match up with the Rockets, and that's pretty big for the Pelicans. So getting love internationally, and then, of course, playing in Birmingham, where our G League affiliate also plays, will be a treat for the Alabamians, man, to be honest with you. But this will be an interesting test from the Pelicans. So they'll get some days off, and they'll get ready for the Rockets on the 14th, man. And we'll see how that goes. And, of course, after that, we have a couple of days after that, we'll have the Orlando preseason finale game before we get ready for action against the Memphis Grizzlies to start off the regular season in their building. So this is going to be interesting, man. We're getting very close to regular season basketball. All right. So anyway, with that being said, shout out to you guys and appreciate you. What's up, Jessica? Shout out to you. Good to see you in the stream as well. Brother Jordan, shout out to you, man. DJ, big ups to you. Appreciate you guys being up at 1:00 in the morning as we recap the Pelicans, man. But listen, we're going to return later on in the broadcast, man. I mean, later on today, rather, this afternoon or later on toward the 7 or p.m., somewhere around in there. And we'll give a recap. Me, DC, and Lex will go over and talk about the Pelicans. What we've seen in the first 2 preseason games. We'll go more in depth in the Houston Rockets matchup that'll be coming up on the 14th. And we'll play some snippets of the pressers. They're not available yet in terms of the players' thoughts on the game. And hopefully, we want to hear about, update on Willie Green, what he thinks about the situation. But hold on, fam. I think we do have something by Willie Green. He also has Jordan Poole. They just posted it. Give me a second and I'll get it going for you. Poole and Willie Green at the podium talking. Perhaps they'll make mention of what happened with what happened with Jose Alvarado. So let's hear Willie Green. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can.
Yeah, another good performance, high energy game. The crowd was electric. It was really exciting for all of our guys to get on the floor and have a lot of carryover from the execution work that we've done in practice, competing, rebounding the ball, playing fast offensively. And again, we're grateful to have this opportunity and this experience.
A question for both of you. Now that this series is over, if you were to give the commissioner some advice on whether teams should come back to Australia, what would that message be?
I'll let JP answer that.
Yeah, I think it was a really good turnout. especially for the fans, being able to come over here and play in front of fans that we don't normally get to play in front of. Just the interactions, good basketball, and obviously you want to play against guys in a different league whenever you get the opportunity. So I only have positive things to say, and I think it's something that we should make more routine for sure.
Coach, how's Jose Alvarado? Do you have any idea on the extent of the injury?
No update at this moment, but he'll be reevaluated once we get home, and we'll see where things are.
Are there things that Australia can do better, or the NBL can do better for when teams come out to visit here? Is there any notes you've got on things that worked well or didn't work well?
I thought they did an excellent job of hosting us, starting with the people. Everybody was extremely generous and inviting and welcoming. We had a great time just walking around the city, seeing different restaurants and just the people, interacting with the people. And then the game experience was incredible, the practice facility. So only positives. I think Jordan alluded to that. This was a great experience for our group.
Is there any chance there'd be a NBA regular season game here, do you think? We have baseball, we've got NFL next year. Do you think that's a hurdle too far, or something that could be a possibility?
I think it's a possibility for sure. The game is so global that you're getting teams that are playing regular season games in other countries, and after this experience, I think we'll see more teams.
Jordan, how are you feeling? A couple of games now with the team. Do you feel like you're getting a bit more chemistry with some of the guys, getting a good feel for everything?
Yeah, I feel really good about our group. We've been practicing really hard leading up to coming to Australia, and I think just with more reps, more time, continuing to push each other, it's putting us in a really good position. I feel like we're really comfortable, not only on the court, but just the personalities off the court as well. We got a really good group, so using this experience to kind of come together, spend a lot of time, in a different country and on the road and traveling is going to be big for us this year, especially if we want to make a deep run or, make some noise when it comes to the playoffs. So this is a really good way to start our season for sure.
Jordan, have you got a favorite memory from this week?
Yeah, man, we went to go see some kangaroos and koalas, bro. That's all I cared about. They put that excursion on there, and I was pretty much good after that. So.
They have a duck to it?
Yeah, for sure.
Jordan, can you put into words functionally how you guys feel you got better playing against this style of competition?
Yeah, a little bit different style of play. A lot more ball movement, a lot more sets, a lot more actions. You got to be more attentive on defense. And then whenever you get to just play against different styles of basketball, it just brings you together as a group. You got to communicate more. You don't see the same patterns that you normally do when you play, at home or your normal league. So obviously we all love to play the game, and we get out there, we want to challenge ourselves. And like I said, playing against different teams brings different challenges, and I think we did a good job responding.
Would you prefer if more NBA teams sort of reverted a bit more to that style of basketball?
I mean, as long as you're playing good basketball and you want to play winning basketball, everybody has different styles. And that's all across the world. So, I mean, it depends on, I guess, how you want to play. But it's definitely good basketball, a lot of ball movement, team-oriented, a lot of good sets. I was just talking to one of the coaches. They hit us with a really good ATO in our last game that resulted in a corner three, which is something that, would be really cool for us to implement. So you can always learn, especially when you are seeing global basketball. It's always something you can implement in that for sure.
Coach, the West is going to be tough again this year. What would success look like for your group?
The focus is on us. I think as our group is getting to know each other more and more, we're going to get better as the season progresses. We just want to have an opportunity to walk in every single building and give ourselves chances to win those games. And the same thing when teams come to our house. So we're just going to continue to focus on us, focus on our concepts, focus on our group, continue to come together. And thus far, I'm extremely blessed to have an opportunity to coach high-character guys.
Coach, the boys looked a lot more energetic and a lot cleaner with their execution tonight compared with Friday night. Did you demand a lot more of them today, or is that something that come with just shaking off the cobwebs during preseason?
It's a combination of knocking off some rust. They have a game under their belt playing against a different opponent and instead of beating themselves up in training camp. So that's one. And then two, these guys are always challenging each other. They have a standard that they want to play. We've talked about it as a group, and what we saw is an example of what we will be as we continue to progress. So really good execution and transfer from practice to the games for us.
Jordan, last night during the three-point contest, when you made the game winner in the form, you did the little pool party celebration. So I really want to see more of this year in New Orleans. You got any new cellies in your bag this season? What's the word?
Yeah, you definitely gonna see the pool party cellies in New Orleans. Yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Yeah, definitely.
Can you talk a little bit about Sadiq Bey coming back from a year old?
Yeah.
Shaking some cobwebs off. But what is he going to mean for your group this season? And what did you like this weekend from him?
I think he's going to be huge for our group. Just having a chance to interact with him, get to know him more. He has such a mature approach to the game, but he's talking, interacting with his teammates. He's a hard worker, and you can see the difference between game one and game two. He's a guy that wants it. He wants to be good. He wants to make winning plays for himself and his teammates. I think he's going to be huge for our group, and we're all excited to have him on our team.
There was also some good stretches from the rookie Jeremiah Fears tonight. What, has impressed you about him so far through this preseason?
He has a no quit mentality. He doesn't back down from anybody. I saw that starting in summer league. And again, he's 18 years old, doing what he's doing at this level, extremely difficult to do. He's confident, he works at it. Again, he's one of those guys that we're going to see continue to get better.
Jordan, you got to play against some good young up-and-coming Aussie players over these past two games, in particular Dash Daniels. What's been your sort of takeaway of him and other young Aussie players coming through?
Yeah, Dash is a really good defender, lengthy, energetic. It's a good team that we played. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of talent. I played at Lexxah who also played in the NBO. So there's a lot of talent coming through. And they're playing good basketball. They're learning how to play the right way, which is very pivotal, I think, now in today's game. So a lot of talent, and there's talent, all over the world. So it was good to get a good look at the young guys, before they try to, hit the pre-draft or hit the draft or hit the process to come over to the NBA. So I think it's really good that they're able to play some good basketball over here first.
Coach, did you have an update on Herb's injury and the extent of Trey not playing tonight? If there's an injury there?
No updates at the moment. Again, all those guys will be reevaluated once we get home, and I'm sure we'll have an update, at some point.
Final question from you. Sorry. You good?
Jordan, you obviously talking about Jeremiah just now, a young guy, 18 years old, coming to the NBA. You were in that position with the Warriors, kind of your rookie year, young guy, went through the G League, came back, and now obviously you had a ton of success in your career. So what's some things you're telling him as a vet, just kind of for a young guy coming to the league, just what he can expect coming into his rookie year? Yeah,
comes a time. It's going to take time. As much as I would have loved to speed up my learning process, it's just some things that you have to experience as a rookie. And, luckily for him, we've been able to build a solid group of vets who have experience, guys who've been in the league long enough to kind of help him and guide him through this. And obviously he's a talented player and he has guys around him who want to win. So, he'll have a really good season. I think the coaches are doing a good job of coaching him up, holding him accountable, putting him in positions where he can be successful, but also just learning throughout that process, very much like I did earlier in my career. So it's going to come a time, but he has a good group around him, along with all the other rookies. I think, Micah did a really good job with these two games and filling out the way he plays and his position and his style. So really looking forward to our young guys. They're a good group and expect good things from them for this season for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, there it is now. That's other comments on the game from Willie Green and Poole, Mr. Poole Party, Jordan Poole himself. Talked about it being a NOLA pool party. Watching him play, man, he shook this guy up pretty bad. I don't know, y'all probably seen the footage of the guy trying to stay in front of him. He kind of shook the guy up pretty bad, man. It was like like you would do your little brother if you had a little brother and y'all playing basketball, and a little guy trying to stay in front of you, and you just going crossing them up, and you're taking a step here, and he just going there. He's just remote controlling the dude. That was pretty interesting and funny to watch him do that. But yeah, man, Jordan Poole, his 3-point shooting, and what he's going to bring to the Pelicans is going to be interesting. So, like I said, watching the footage from the first preseason game when we seen Zion Williamson and Trey Murphy III, their chemistry, their synergy, and then tonight watching Saddiq Bey do his thing, both sides of the floor, watching Poole do his thing as well, and you can see some of these other pieces that we have move in that right direction. They talk about having Micah Peavy, what he did. He was pretty cool tonight too. Pretty solid game from him. So a lot of positives for the Pelicans. And like I said, in international competition, not to disparage the competition, it was fun watching it because it gave us an opportunity to see something fresh and different. It kind of added a little spice to the NBA preseason, so to speak. And then, of course, the next 2 games will be back against our customary and regular traditional NBA competition with the Rockets and, of course, closing out preseason-wise, the finale, Orlando. So it's going to be fun watching and go. Can this success of what the Pelicans are experiencing now, can that also be transferred against Houston and Orlando and finish the preseason strong going to the regular season with that good energy and get ready for that road matchup in the season opener against Memphis? So that's some of the things we'll have to carry forward. So it's good energy. And we'll see how it all goes, man. There's a lot of questions in terms of can this, the direction of the team keeps going. A lot of people still are leery about Willie Green. Right now, the team is responding. We haven't seen a tremendous amount of turmoil right now or them get really chin checked, so to speak. But in time, man, teams grow. Zion looks good. Trey Murphy looks good. We've seen Jordan Poole. He out there. He looks good. We've seen other players like PV and Jeremiah Fears do his thing. And there's still a few guys on the men. We talk about Herb Jones, you talk about Derek Queen. These guys are still on the men. So the Pelicans are going to be an interesting team, man, and one of these teams that you're going to have to pay attention to, man. Zion seems to be really, having kind of embracing his role, so to speak. There is no blurring of the line, so to speak, of whose team this is. Zion Williamson obviously is the guy, and you have a lot of different players around him that complement him well. We just have to make sure it mesh in the blueprint or the mind frame or the direction of the team through the head coach, which is being remote controlled by Joe Dumars. He's not leaving much room for error. So indeed, if the Pelicans want to have that ultimate success that we all feel like they should be having, it's got to start at the top of the team, meaning the head coach, and transcend down. I like what Joe Dumars is doing, and we just have to keep this train rolling, man, as we getting into it, man. So 2 preseason games down. We have 2 remaining before we get to the regular season, man. So that's what I'm looking out for. All right. Anyway, man, with that said, man, listen, Jessica said, what's up with Herb? Herb is still on the men. We'll see how that all looks. Mr. Gotti says Saddiq is the X factor and will be different between making or missing the playoffs. He's our 6th man, and that will remain even with Murray coming back into the fold. Yeah, he sold me. Yeah, and that's another good thing, bro. We talk about Saddiq Bey, right? And people that know Saddiq's game, that watched him from his previous team, know that Saddiq Bey can play. He spent that whole year out with the injury. He's totally healthy. And if you listen to him, there was a in-game interview that they talked about. The Andrew Lopez, shout out to him. He talked to Saddiq Bey at the end of the game, and Saddiq Bey, the first thing he said is he says he thanked God. He prays every day, for him to be healthy and to do his thing. But a real solid dude, real mature dude with a complete game to him. A guy, he averaged 15 points prior to the injury, and he's a 2-way player. He's a guy that can, that can help you out offensively, and he's a guy that plays good defense. So he's a very good piece for the Pelicans to have. So, to have him here. So yeah, like I said, they have some real good pieces here. We just have to figure out roles for some of these guys coming off the bench and make sure we just have that proper identity. And like I said, the players are here. It's just really up to the guy sitting on the right of Jordan Poole to make sure it all goes. And if he can't handle it, he is going to be out of there. So it's in his hands, man. It's in his hands. It's right where it's supposed to be on the head coach. You got to solve those issues. All right. Yeah. Jordan says Messi was looking like, yeah, Messi was out there making blocks. He was dunking the ball, running the floor real well. And these guys, we have some, and like I said, man, the Pelicans is one of these teams. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but you hear a couple of the NBA analysts start talking about, like, man, if the Pelicans can do this, man, and they arrange it, they'll say the Pelicans, if they can do this, they're a play-in team to a potential second round playoff team and all this kind of madness. The Pelicans is one of these teams that we know with the talent that can challenge and could have a deep playoff run. I don't want to throw that out there too soon, but I'm just saying it all comes down to coaches and coaching and preparation. And it's about time we show some shit for real, man. So I'm glad we got Joe Dumars in here. I'm glad they iron out a lot of these issues in terms of the leadership, who leads the team, what we're going to do, all that soft rhetoric about mindfulness and all this bull crap that this previous dude was doing. He tore all that crap off the walls of the practice facility and put up there one goal, an NBA trophy. Everybody can get down with that. Preaching toughness, bringing in tough players with aggressive approach that are intelligent, that take instruction. We got the pieces, man. We got the pieces that we need to compete. We just got to make sure we just handle the business and have a complete and thorough plan of how to get there, man. And that's going to happen from the administration through Willie Green. Like I said, I've told you all this before, us here on PPR. You know who got that remote control in Willie Green's back? It's Joe Dumars. He ain't leaving no room for that. And once again, man, before we get ready to leave, listen, Willie Green said twice that there is no information on Jose Alvarado. For those who don't know, didn't hear or knew, that he had no update on Jose Alvarado, who left the third quarter of this preseason game with some type of apparent knee injury. You know, he was on the ground, but on the floor. Then they helped him up, and then he kind of limped back to the locker room. And Willie Green says, you know, once they get home, they'll have an update later on about Jose Alvarado. So prayers to Jose. It looked kind of like something, fam. I ain't gonna lie, but he was able to walk on it. But we'll see what happened with Jose, man. That's the thing. The Pelicans get the win in a dominating fashion, but, you know, like I said, I'm kind of concerned about Jose, who just got through, got healthy from this other issue that he had coming into it. So that's got to be frustrating. All right. Jason said Pelicans winning. There you go. In 2026. Okay. You're giving a little time now. I got you, brother. Hey, man, like I said, man, they don't want to admit that, but the Pelicans, man, listen, it's certain things that you can see it, like we watched the presser. I made mention of it, that it's certain things that people say they don't hear. And then at first it's like, no, I'll just block out all the noise. That was stuff Zion was saying the last several years. And then ultimately this year, he started hearing it and he heard these things. Trey Murphy listens to it. I'm pretty sure Herb does. You got to hear it because it's not just at a local level. A lot of the noise is coming from the national presses that use the Pelicans as a sounding board when shit get boring, or when the news when the news stories are not hitting, or when the news sports and all this type of stuff is slow. They then say, okay, let's kind of bounce back and kind of bounce on the Pelicans and kind of make fun of the Zion or the Pelicans and all this kind of stuff. Well, I said at some point you got to get tired of that, man. You know, you got to get tired of that. The man finally got in shape, and then you got this piece of scum trash that was on Fox running the man down, talking about he sees Ozempic when he sees it. I mean, it's just a bunch of trash. That guy is a complete dumbass. He doesn't have any talent, so he tries to do these little hot takes and all this kind of stuff. That's why he got fired doing that nasty shit at Fox. And the guy's just a loser and a bum. He got G-checked by Kendrick Perkins, who is who's trying to be a Pelican guy. He also see the team. So like I said, man, all this could be fixed by just winning and keeping a serious temperament. We got players here. It's time to make this shit happen, man. It's time to shut up all these people, and it's time to fulfill the aspirations and the motivations as well as the belief and the faith that the faithful put into this team. It's time for it to bear fruit. It's time for all of that other nonsense to stop. It's time for them to bust some ass in the NBA and earn some respect. That's what the Pelicans need to do. That's the temperament. With that being said, I'm going to leave on that energy. And by the way, fam, let me just say this. I don't know if you guys are following it, but this whole Kyron Lacey thing, the former wide receiver from LSU, I know this is a bit off topic, but, this was something that, that popped up on my feed. When was it? On the other day, I've been busy with us family stuff and all kind of stuff, but I was able to see this, and it really kind of disturbed me about Kyron Lacey, his story. If you don't know, he was a wide receiver that was going to be eligible for this past draft from out of LSU. He was having, I think he was graded out as a potential second to fourth round wide receiver, very talented wide receiver. There was footage that was shown by his lawyer who, of course, he was supposed to be put in jail because they say he caused the accident that cost people to a former elderly gentleman who was a veteran. They have a head-on collision with another car that ultimately took his life. And he said he caused the accident and then drove off the scene where they arrested him. It turns out that they have video footage that proved that Kyron Lacey was not the person that caused the accident. The collision actually happened before he even arrived to the intersection. And there's video evidence proving this. Well, this whole situation inspired to the point where it destroyed his prospects, and it set a chain of event of real horrible things happening. Ultimately, what ended up was I think he was in Texas. He was supposed to be going to a trial in which he would have been accused of these things, and let me make a long story short, because it's very hard. It's very ridiculous. It's so sad that the young man didn't handle it too well and ended up having an issue with his family. A gun was involved, which I think he got in an argument and left the home, jumped in his car. He was driving fast and the police there pursued him. And then ultimately they said that when they caught up to him, I think he wrecked his car. When they caught up to him, they said they heard a shot. They opened the door and found out that he supposedly shot himself in the car. So when this type of stuff happened, you wonder and you say to yourself, is this the complete story? Did he really shoot himself? First of all, they said that he was responsible and he didn't. And now the video is clearing them. And some of these people are the police. And I'm going to cover this on TSC Unleashed. I'm going to talk more about it. But he was vindicated and freed. But of course, they said that he ultimately shot and harmed himself. So, and he's no longer here. And it's a sad story, man. So very sad. Now it comes out the video proof. And it shows also a police coached a guy, a witness into kind of concocting the story that he was responsible. I just don't understand how, how they got away with this. This is ridiculous. It was harmful. They have all the video evidence of it. And I think they were trying to hold this information back, but ultimately it got where it's supposed to be in the hands of the public. And fireballs need to rain from the sky on some of these people that do this type of evil nastiness. And it just was a horrible situation. It's just sad, man, that this type of stuff is still happening in this country. And we just have to be ever vigilant and stomp down on people who abuse the authority and do wrongful stuff like this. I don't care who you are. You deserve to go down. But anyway, with that being said, man, shout out to you guys for staying up this late. Like I said, we'll be back later on today with a full breakdown on this episode. And first, we'll kind of recap the first two preseason games and then look at the rest of the stuff as we move forward. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get out on that. But man, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and the share button and the notification bell for more content, man. And I'm going to see y'all a little bit later. Much love. Go Pels. Peace.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican, yeah. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
The WhoDatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoDatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoDatDaily.com is your site. The WhoDatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform's store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow.